Hello, in this lesson, second lesson of week 5, we're going to be dividing decimals. And so I'm going to go ahead and give you an example first of estimating, okay, because we want to estimate. And then we will be dividing with digits with one decimal place value and with two decimal places. So let's go ahead and start with estimating. And this is very similar to when we were adding decimals. In estimation, you are rounding and you're trying to find compatible numbers. Remember, compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to work with. So here we have 2.9. See, in there I already feel like, okay, well, 2.9 is close. I can run it to 3. It's very close to 3. And then 207, well, what number will be compatible? Think about it. So this really, you just have to really think. 207, if I make it 210, it gives me a 21 there. So that will be workable because I know that 21 is a multiple of 3, right? If I multiply 3 times 7, I get 21. So I'm going to divide 21 divided by 3 is equal to 7, and then I carry over the 0. So that would be 70. So in my estimation, 210 divided by 3 equals 70. So here the trick is, like I said again, the last lesson, you need to know your multiplication facts. So if you still haven't mastered it, go back and do extra math so that you can continue practicing and reach 100%. Okay, so that's the part of estimating. You're finding easier numbers to divide to find an approximate. Now let's go ahead and do an example of division with one decimal place. And I have here divide 59 divided by 0.3. Okay, well, the first step what you're going to do is you're going to write it out as a decimal, as a division like this. So 59 is your dividend, 59. And your divisor goes outside the house. Your divisor is 0.3. Now before, let me put 0.3. Now remember, can you have decimal places or decimal points in the divisor? No. If you have a decimal here, you need to get rid of it. And the way that you will get rid of it is by multiplying by a power of 10 until you have no decimal point. So 0.3 times 10, okay, we'll move my decimal point once. So if I multiply by 10 here, the divisor, I need to multiply the dividend by 10. So 59 times 10 equals 590. I'm going to rewrite it just so that it's cleaner. So our new digit is 590 divided by 3. Okay? So I got rid of the decimal point by multiplying both by 10. Now we're ready to divide. And we do regular division. How many times does the 3 fit into the 5? One time, right? Now make sure that you put the digit on top or above the number you're dividing. Then 1 times 3 equals 3. Then I subtract. 5 minus 3 equals 2. Now I bring down the 9. How many times does the 3 fit into the 29? Think about your multiples. Oh, 27, right? 3 times 9 equals 27. And then I subtract. 29 minus 27 equals 2. And then I bring down the 0. And then how many times does the 3 fit into the 20? Well, I know it's not 7, because 7 times 3 is 21. So I'll go with 6. 6 times 3 is 18. And then I subtract. Now, I don't have any more numbers. So what I do is that's where my decimal point is. And I'm also going to write it in my quotient because I don't want to miss it. In dividing decimals, you have to line up the decimal points. Just like when you add and subtract decimal points. So here, now I'm going to add a 0, and then I'm going to bring it down, and I get the same thing, right? 6 times 3 equals 18, subtract, and it looks like this is going to run on and on. So I'm just going to leave it at 196.6. If well, I do it one more time, and this gives me, it will go 6666. So I'm going to round it, so that will make it a 7. So this is going to be my answer, 196.67, just because I'm going to round it. You know, if I keep going, I put 6, I just round it. So that's how I got 7. I go up 1. So on this example, my answer is 196.67, or you could say 196.7 if you're running to the nearest 10th rather than the nearest 100th. Let's do another example. Here we have 41.2 divided by 1.36. So if I write this in the other way, 41.2 is my dividend divided by 1.36. Now remember, it's okay to have decimals inside my dividend, but it's not okay to have it in my divisor. So in order to get rid of my decimal point here, I have 2 decimal places that I need to move. So to move twice, I multiply by 100. So I will multiply by 100 my divisor and multiply by 100 my dividend. So that this becomes 136. And in the inside, we move it twice. 1, there's no number, so we add a 0. 2. So I'm multiplying, and I get 4,120 divided by 136. Then I think, how many times does the 136 go into 412? Think about it. Well, in 412 I have 400s, but 136 is quite big, so I don't think it's 4, maybe 3. And it's kind of risky, but let's try it. We can adjust it if it's not it. So we'll put 3. Now I'm putting my 3 on top above the 2 because I'm dividing 412. And I'm doing that because I know, because 4 is too small, 41 is too small to, for the 136 to fit in that. That's why I did 412 first. So now I'm going to multiply. And this is a little hard to multiply like that. So you probably have to do it on the corner of your page or on another area of your paper. You want to multiply the 136 times 3. Okay, to continue. 6 times 3 is 18. 3 times 3 equals 9. And 9 plus 1 equals 10. Carry over the 1. And then 3 times 1 is 3, and 1 is 4. So it's 408. So that means I'm good because 408 is smaller than 412. So I'm going to subtract 408. And basically, I know it's 12 minus 8, right? It's 4. And then this is 0. So 4, I subtracted, and now I bring down the 0. How many times does the 136 fit into 40? None, right? So if it's none times, I need to add that 0. Make sure you add that 0, because some of you will not add it, and then you get 3, and it's all wrong. So here, because after I bring down, my divisor does not fit into the dividend, then I add, then it fits 0 times, and now I can add another 0 and bring it down, and now it's 400. And see here, I added a 0, but my decimal point is here, so you need to remember to line them up and add your decimal point. Now I can continue dividing. 400. 400, the last one, it was 408, so it goes over, so that most likely means that it will fit 2 times, right? So again, if I need to multiply here on the side, 136 times 2. 6 times 2 equals 12. 3 times 2 equals 6, and 1 is 7. 2 times 1 equals 2. 272. So I'm going to subtract 272. So I'm subtracting zeros. I need to regroup. I'll take that 3 out and then pass it over. This becomes a 9 because I need to let the ones borrow that 10. So 10 minus 2 equals 8. 9 minus 7 equals 2. And then 3 minus 2 equals 1. 128. And we can add another 0. You can keep going and going. I'm using numbers that I made up, so this is a little bit more complicated, but this is how you divide decimals. And in this case, you can go on and on and on. So just stop after 2 digits. You don't want to keep going. I bring down the 0, and now I'm dividing 136. How many times is it going to the 1,280? So now this one is a little complicated, right? Because you got to figure that out. Well, let's do an estimated guess. I'm going to guess about 9. I think it's going to be about 9. And I'm going to do that math multiplication here to check what number I get and see if it's close enough. So 136 times 9. 9 times 6 equals 54, right? 9 times 3 is 27. 27 plus 5, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. And then 9 times 1 equals 9, plus 3 equals 12. 12, 24. Oh, it looks like I barely made it. 9 times 136 is 12, 24. Now, I can subtract and keep going, but I'm just going to use this number to round up my number. So I'm going to say that my answer is 30.3. And then round it up. Okay, and so this is basically how you divide. On cons, you're not going to get numbers too complicated where you're rounding, but just make sure that you line up your decimal points. That's very important. All right, if you have any questions, let me know.